Hi everybody, my name is Barry Schwartz and this is the Search Buzz video recap. Today is Friday, February 8th, and this is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at seroundtable.com over the past week. I posted my monthly Google Webmaster Report. You can access it. It was published on February 4th, so just scroll down to the February 4th. Pretty much covering everything that we've covered over the past month related to Google SEO related topics. Nothing really massive, a lot of small ranking fluctuations over the past in January, especially early January. Some knowledge panel and AMP errors and stuff like that. And some big Google Search Console announcements around some of the features going away around March. New features in URL inspection tool, message consolidation, and a security feature added. So definitely take a look at that if you were sleeping the past month. You can definitely catch up very quickly over there. Yesterday, we reported about a Google search ranking algorithm update. It seems like there was somewhat of a big one, although it's not exactly clear yet. Google has not confirmed anything, nor did I ask them to confirm it, so I don't really blame them for not confirming it. But there definitely is a lot of chatter, a lot of signals in the Webmaster World forums, a lot of signals from the automated tracking tool showing fluctuations. Let's see what SEMrush is showing right now. But definitely yesterday, there definitely seemed to be some type of ranking algorithm update. In Google. It seems to have died down a little bit according to the tools and the chatter, but yesterday there was definitely some significant chatter. It's not clear if it was an update or some type of blip, but it is what it is, so I definitely reported about it. Google Search Console made a major announcement on Wednesday afternoon and actually released that, where they actually are now going ahead and consolidating the Google Search Console performance report, basically the search analytics report, that shows pretty much all traffic data or impression, clicks, and stuff like that, all their performance report data based on a canonical URL, as opposed to the actual specific URL that it's reporting on. So if you have an AMP URL or a mobile URL, et cetera, Google will automatically canonicalize that based on what they think the canonical URL is and consolidate all that data into one URL. Google actually launched that report yesterday morning when I was writing about it, and you can see here it shows you the notice about it, and you can actually click to see the old view. So this is the consolidated view, this is the canonical view, the old view. So canonical view, which is going to be the new one that's rolling out now, and start after April 10th, you're no longer going to be able to do the individual URL. Google goes through the different things that you have to worry about. Things like if you have user settings and about specific profiles, maybe download your old data, stuff like that. But your reports may significantly change if you go there right now, especially when you do the deep dive into AMP URLs or mobile URLs. You definitely see a change there in almost all cases. So that's a big announcement. Definitely take a look at that. Google Search Console also seems to be dropping UTM tracking for Google My Business in Google Search Console. It might be related to this consolidated view, I'm not sure, but it is very confusing. Definitely take a look at that if you are using UTM tracking in Google Search Console for Google My Business. Bing also made a pretty big announcement, like I said, last Friday, and I actually spoke to a Bing representative yesterday, Christy Olson, who went through this announcement with me. Basically, they are of the belief that crawling is inefficient. It's not something they really want to do going forward, although they are not going to scale back any crawling efforts they're doing today. But in the future, 3, 4, 5, who knows how many years down the road, they hope to slow down those crawling efforts and require publishers like me, you guys, to go ahead and submit your new content and updated content via the Bing Webmaster Tools URL submission process, either through the user interface or through the API. There's a lot of things to consider. If Bing's not crawling the web as they used to, are they going to lose out on link signals? Is it people are going to start spamming it? And I went through all those questions and published an article at Search Engine Land, summed it up a little bit over here, and stuff like that. So definitely take a look at that. But Christy, I went ahead and responded to a bunch of questions around that. But it is a big fundamental shift in terms of how the internet typically works, or the search engines typically work in terms of crawling the web and then showing you content as opposed to being fed the content. Well, Sitemaps kind of does that, but it's not real time. I don't know what's going on with Bing, because Yoast announced that Yoast is working with Bing and Google to kind of provide live updates to their indexes based on what's published through notice through the Yoast SEO plugin. Surprised they're not working directly with WordPress. I suppose they're working with Yoast. But basically, it looks like Bing confirmed that Yoast is working with their Bing Webmaster Tools API to submit URLs directly to their index. Google has not really confirmed any of this, so it's not really clear what they're doing. I know Google does have an indexing API, but that indexing API is restricted to just currently job posting URLs and live stream events. So I'm not sure if Google's going to open it up to Yoast or other publishers. Again, it just seems not the way the web crawling search engines work. They crawl the web to find content. Why should they make publishers go out and submit URLs to them? If they do, great, XML sitemaps and other methods, but kind of see if, I don't know, I think they're going to be missing something if they do that. So I'm not sure what's going on with Google with that, but Bing is definitely taking a strong stance on that. Gary from Google is talking again, which is great. He has an AMA on Reddit, and he was asked about Rankbrain, and Gary said, Rankbrain is a PR sexy machine learning feature. He said, Rankbrain is a PR sexy machine learning ranking component that uses historical search data to predict what would a user most likely click on for a previous unseen query. It's a really cool piece of engineering that saved our butts countless times when traditional algorithms were like, oh, look, a not in that query string. Let's ignore the hell out of it. But it's generally just relying on sometimes months of old data about what happened on its results page itself, not the landing page. So again, nothing really new there outside of just Gary, the way Gary talks, PR sexy machine learning. It's great to have Gary back talking. Hopefully he'll continue. It's great to report on, and it makes me smile. So thank you, Gary. Another thing Gary said was that CTR and dwell time and other behavioral signals are myths. He specifically wrote in the Reddit thread, let me quote you, dwell time, CTR, whatever Fishkin, that's Moz's co-founder, his new theory is, those are generally made up, Greg. He also added that search is much simpler than people actually think. And again, this is something that Google's communicated over and over again, literally over a decade. Matt Cutts said this and so forth, and the same messaging. Behavioral signals, US signals are messy, noisy signals. Google doesn't want to use it because they're easily spammable and they're just noisy. But yet, search SEOs, some SEOs strongly believe that Google does and continue to use it even though they deny using it. And again, I don't know why. Again, it doesn't make sense why they would deny it if they are using it, because they confirm a lot of other things. But anyway, you guys can believe what you want to believe. Google denies also that negative people or organizational associations can downgrade a website. So I'm a horrible writer, right? And they know that because of the way I write on Search Engine Roundtable. But if I write it also on Search Engine Land, which I do, does that downgrade the ranking of Search Engine Land because Google knows I'm associated with Search Engine Roundtable, which is a bad website, and I'm writing a Search Engine Land, which is a good website, but does that hurt Search Engine Land because I'm a bad character? And Google says no, it shouldn't. Pretty much this says, I go through in more detail, but basically no, it doesn't. Google updated their content guidelines around QA pages. And they did this once back in December, but now they actually have more examples of what's valid use cases, what's not valid use cases. In short, use it when there's QA content, not just FAQs. You can't use it for FAQs, but you have to use it for where there's one question and multiple answers. And there's more content there for you to look at if you are interested in using QA markup. Google does have a new user agent. They confirmed it, called Google Speaker without the E. And it's used, and we found Google using this from multiple people on Twitter, and Danny Sullivan came in and said user agents used when Google Go fetches. Google Go is like a low, I think it's used internationally mostly for low indexing stuff, for crawling pages that might need some faster indexing, or not faster indexing, but faster publication or something like that. Not where it's like for slower internet connections, I believe. To make sure they have the most updated information before they translate them to read out loud. So it kind of seems to be using Google Translate and stuff like that. It's nothing to do with indexing necessarily, but it is a new user agent that Google's using. It looks like Google's using or showing featured snippets around medical queries, not the knowledge panel, but featured snippets, 2.5 times more than they have in the past, according to Pete Myers from Moz, and other analytics tools actually confirm that. Google is testing showing event-rich snippets on desktop, not just on the mobile. So it used to only show on mobile, but now it's actually being tested to show on desktop. Google's also testing showing image carousel refinement bubbles in the web search results. So they actually had this in image search, and it's actually live in image search, but it also shows up in the main web results with an image carousel. With an image carousel, it actually has like these things to refine your queries. I don't see it yet, but Google's definitely testing that. Multiple people have confirmed that. Google Maps has added in Google My Business the ability for hotels to add their check-in times and their checkout times, which is nice because then you can actually quickly go to a Google Map result around the hotel and see when the check-in time and checkout times are, which is for most hotels 4 p.m. check-in, checkout 12 p.m. Nothing new there. I posted a poll around the Moz metric, which they announced this week, that was vastly upgraded. DA, Domain Authority, they went ahead and did a vast upgrade around their calculation of how they figure out what domain authority is for a specific URL. A lot of controversy around DA in general. And I asked SEOs, what do they think in terms of, is it helpful or hurtful to have a DA score? And then you can see the results. I mean, most say it's helpful. Then a lot of people say it depends on how people use it. And about 25% of you guys say it's hurtful. So it's pretty interesting to see those results. And finally, if you love search, you know algorithms, you know how to program, et cetera, and you want to learn how Bing secret sauce, how they do the rankings, Bing is looking to hire a project manager to work specifically on core search. And you can hit up Frederick here on Twitter. Send him your resume if you're interested in the job. Let him know. In any event, thanks so much for listening to the Search Buzz video recap. My name again is Barry Schwartz, and this is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable, seroundtable.com over the past week. Again, today is Friday, February 8th. Everyone have a great weekend. I'll see you guys next. Bye.